This is the Sikorsky S-97 Raider, a next-generation prototype helicopter designed specifically for the U.S. Army.
World's most powerful helicopter has just been released. It's real, not science fiction. Possessing the strength to land where aircraft cannot, fly over minefields, and lift tanks.
We don't need that runway to land on, and we don't need any type of air traffic control agency to get us there. We can do it ourselves.
There is more to the King Stallion than just a helicopter. It's a game changer, but it's only the beginning. You'll learn that modern warfare isn't waged by machines once you witness the capabilities of an Apache helmet, or how a little bird may slip into a combat zone. Monsters with wings fight it. Sikorsky King Stallion CH-53K. Certain machines in the military aviation industry are distinguished by their speed, while others are characterized by their firepower. However, the Sikorsky CH-53K King Stallion is characterized above all by its unquestionable sheer power. The U.S. military's unquestioned heavyweight champion is this chopper. It is the fleet's biggest and most potent helicopter, a real giant whose only function is to carry out tasks that no other aircraft could. The King Stallion's command of respect is based on data. It has the power to lift an incredible 35,000 pounds. To put things in context, consider, it may be carrying a small building's worth of supplies, a fully equipped military truck, or even another crippled helicopter hanging beneath it as it takes off. Large cars might be completely engulfed by its enormous interior. The King Stallion is the sole option when a task calls for transporting something really large to an area without ports, roads, or an airstrip. However, this helicopter uses more than just force. It is a modern engineering marvel. The most recent and sophisticated model is the K model, which is powered by brand-new, incredibly potent engines and constructed using state-of-the-art composites. Because of this, it can function in situations where other aircraft would be unable to fly. From the scorching heat of a desert to the thin air of high mountain passes, it is a machine honed for the most difficult tasks the modern world can present. The King Stallion can carry out some of the most special and important tasks thanks to its enormous capacity. Making room for the U.S. Navy is one of its most amazing responsibilities. An enormous mind-sweeping sled can be towed through the sea by the helicopter if it is equipped with a particular gear. As a result, the King Stallion can safely detonate undersea mines and provide a safe route for the fleet by flying ahead of naval warships. It is a beautiful illustration of its adaptability, a titan of the air, guaranteeing maritime security. The King Stallion is a vital piece of equipment for the Marine Corps. Their capacity to project power from the sea is based on it. It can carry hundreds of Marines and all their necessary equipment off the deck of a naval vessel, trucks and equipment right in the middle of an operation. It can carry out vital rescue missions, recovering personnel or other aircraft from well behind enemy lines. In order to properly build this formidable force on the front lines, the King Stallion attained initial operating capability in 2023 and started outfitting Marine Heavy Helicopter Squadron 641 in 2024. Apache AH-64. The Boeing AH-64. Apache is designed to be a predator. The Apache's purpose is far more obvious than the Huey's, which was to carry and save, to hunt, to attack, and to live. The Apache is more than just a flying aircraft. It moves stealthily across the landscape. It has an aggressive, angular, and lean design. It's a massive twin-engine vehicle based on a straightforward, terrible concept. Locate the adversary and eliminate them before they are aware of your presence. How does it accomplish that, then? First, let's examine its teeth. Some of the most formidable weapons in the sky are fully equipped on the Apache. It can carry a variety of weapons under its short wings, including pods of Hydra rockets that can spread fire throughout an area and Hellfire missiles that can destroy a tank from a great distance. The M230 30mm chain gun, which is positioned behind its chin, is the most recognizable armament. It's more than just a machine gun. It is a cannon that unrelentingly discharges hefty shells. It has a deep, savage sound that signals the end for whatever it is aimed at. Here's the amazing part, though. How does the Apache aim that potent weapon? Let's say you are the pilot. The computers in the chopper are directly connected to the unique helmet you are wearing. A tank is concealed behind a forest grove. You just need to have a look at it. A small icon on your helmet display locks onto the tank when you turn your head and see it through your canopy. The chin turret beneath you then swivels with a whir, aiming the enormous gun precisely where you are gazing when you merely click a button on your control stick. The gun is at your head. The combined helmet and display sighting system is the name of this system. Additionally, it makes the Apache an extension of the pilot's will, giving them superhuman control. Naturally, being in danger requires the ability to withstand blows. The Apache is designed to resemble a flying tank. The two-person crew is shielded from bullets and debris by the titanium armor that covers the whole cockpit. Its engines are built to continue operating even in the event of an impact. This helicopter is designed to survive a fierce battle and return home. And it has. Over 5 million flying hours have been completed by the Apache. To put that magnitude into perspective, it would take more than 570 years for one Apache to match the amount of combat experience this fleet has amassed. It has repeatedly shown itself to be the tip of the spear in confrontations ranging from the Gulf War to the present. Due to its effectiveness, it is the most widely used and proven assault helicopter in the Western world. It is an incredibly powerful machine that rules the Earth from above. It represents more than simply Americans. Strength. It stands for American accuracy and the steadfast determination to defend the men beneath it. The Black Hawk UH-60, Sikorsky UH-60. The foundation of U.S. Army air mobility is Black Hawk. It is larger, quicker, and more durable than the fabled Huey. It has a powerful and steady presence in the air thanks to its unique four-bladed rotor and two powerful engines. Its adaptability is what makes it so brilliant. Do you need to get a dozen soldiers in a hurry to a hot landing zone? Your vehicle is the Black Hawk. Do you need to transport a Humvee or a heavy piece of artillery to a far-off outpost by helicopter? That's what the Black Hawk can do. Do you need to carry out a risky medical evacuation while under fire? The interior of the Black Hawk turns into a flying emergency department. In 1993, the famed hardiness of the helicopter was demonstrated at Mogadishu. Because the airframe was built to absorb crash stresses, the crews of two Black Hawks that were shot down by RPGs survived the catastrophic crashes. This engineering demonstrated a fundamental design goal and has since been integrated into contemporary military helicopters. At all costs, keep the crew safe. These days, a Black Hawk is more than simply a cargo helicopter. This is a proven warrior. The dependable taxi transports soldiers to battle, the flying ambulance returns them, and the replenishment truck sustains them. Its recognizable shape in the sky has meant one thing for more than 40 years. Assistance is available. The mission is underway, and America's the best people are in charge of the soldiers. Iroquois Huey Belliwan. There's definitely a sound that springs to mind when you think about the Vietnam War. It's not the sound of an explosion or the snap of a gun. It's a sound, a forceful, deep, and rhythmic beat. That's how the Bell UH-1 Iroquois sounds. However, everyone simply refers to it as the Huey. Its initial designation, Hu-1, is where the name Huey originates, and it evolved into much more than just a name. It turned into a legend. What was Huey then? To put it simply, it was a flying vehicle, a utility helicopter. It could accommodate 10 to 14 soldiers and had a single engine. However, it is more than just a vehicle. It served as the foundation for the entire war effort. In the midst of the conflict, the school bus began dropping off soldiers. It was the delivery van that brought vital supplies to the men in the jungle, including food, mail, and ammo. And when the work was over, the cab came back to collect everyone. Indeed, it might be a gunship. You've seen the images. With a door gunner leaning out and an M60 machine gun in his hands, a Huey swooped in low and unleashed a barrage of fire on the adversary. That picture will always be ingrained in our collective memory. It was a powerful and disturbing sight. The Huey's most significant and valiant function was that of a flying ambulance, despite all the battles it engaged in. This is the point at which it actually permanently altered warfare. Prior to the Huey, if a soldier suffered severe injuries in a far-off, marshy rice paddy, it was painful and slow to bring him assistance on a mountaintop in a dense jungle. Carrying him out on foot could take hours, or even a whole day. That type of time was just not available to many men. Everything was altered by Huey. It delivered the hospital to the injured. A Huey, frequently unarmed and decorated with a huge red cross, would race into the battle when a call was made over the radio for medevac. While medics put the critically injured onto litters, it would hover, frequently under enemy fire. After that, it would take off and fly miles to a field hospital. A trip that used to take days now just took a few minutes. The Huey caused the survival rate of injured soldiers in Vietnam to soar to more than 90%. Consider that figure. Than 90%. Consider that figure. That distinctive whump-whump of the rotor did not sound like war to thousands of American families. It was the sound of optimism. It was the sound of a husband, brother, or son returning home. It was not just a machine. It served as a symbol. It stood for American bravery, inventiveness, and the valiant attempt to revive a scene of death. From search and rescue to medevac, every contemporary helicopter that saves lives today owes a debt to the original workhorse that made it possible. In many respects, the Huey remains the most significant aircraft ever constructed because it was the first of its kind. Hugh's Little Bird, MH6. The MH6 Little Bird's rotor is smaller than a normal classroom, measuring 27 feet across. That small, because of its size, the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, Night Stalkers, one of America's most elite units, uses it for tasks that larger helicopters are just unable to complete. Its round, egg-shaped body is reminiscent of the Vietnam-era 06 Kais, but practically everything else has been enhanced. Modern engines, radios, and controls are hidden beneath the Little Bird's smooth exterior, giving it agility, silence, and the ability to perform tasks that larger helicopters cannot. The Little Bird may hover in a small alley, set down on a rooftop, or slip into a courtyard where a Black Hawk needs a clean patch. Because of its diminutive size, crews can transport small squads directly on top of an objective, and then take off again before the opponent realizes what has happened. One turboshaft engine powers the MH6. Although it is not the most powerful machine, the aircraft can climb quickly and travel at a good speed thanks to its lightweight and streamlined design. When necessary, the platform will ascend to high heights and cruise quickly enough to reach far-off targets. However, it excels in short, precise flights, where speed and dexterity are more important than carrying big loads. Flexibility is one of the MH6's finest qualities. It can be transformed into an AH-6 light attack variant or equipped as a transport with side benches for soldiers. Crews can add machine guns, rocket pods, and guided weaponry by replacing benches with stub wings and weapon mounts. In other words, a single aircraft can move infantry and support fire at different times. The Night Stalkers are experts at night operations at incredibly low altitudes, typically only 50 feet above the ground, threading between obstacles that larger aircraft would not be able to. They engage in an extremely precise form of flight, maneuvering between trees and structures, landing in small areas and concealing their approach with darkness. The MH6 can move silently and blend in with shadows thanks to night vision equipment and meticulous planning, making surprise a true weapon. Urban art demonstrates the special worth of the small bird. It can sit on a tight ledge, drop a squad at a window, or thread between buildings in a town to reach a small rooftop. It may land on a ledge or a small clearing in untamed areas where a larger helicopter couldn't. Larger machinery is just unable to assist in certain situations. AHN Cobra Bell, the first helicopter created specifically for use as an assault aircraft, was the AH-1 Cobra. Armed helicopters were transported equipped with firearms prior to 1967. That was altered by the Cobra. Constructed during the height of the Vietnam War, it was intended as a swift, lightweight, and lethal gunship that could utilize concentrated fire to target enemy positions and defend soldiers. Bell wrapped the engine, transmission, and rotors of the renowned Huey in a new, slim shell. The crew was able to observe and aim together because of the tandem cockpit, which had the pilot behind and the gunner in front, reducing the helicopter's face. The Cobra's design set it apart from other helicopters of the era. Predatory, focused, and lean. It could carry a variety of weaponry depending on the mission thanks to its small stub wings, which provided areas for mounting guns and rockets. The Cobra quickly demonstrated its worth in Vietnam. It threw down suppressive fire to protect soldiers, pursued enemy units discovered by scouts, and accompanied troop-carrying helicopters into hot landing zones. Combined with light, the Cobra joined what soldiers referred to as hunter-killer teams using observation helicopters. Locate the adversary and deliver a powerful blow. Its concentrated armaments made it a terrifying sight in the skies, and its speed and agility allowed it to pursue or attack swiftly. Machine guns and rocket pods were utilized in the early AH-1 variants, but the family quickly changed. Better engines, guided missiles, and enhanced sensors were added to later iterations of the Cobra, enabling it to detect targets farther away and launch more accurate attacks. Many nations modified the design to suit their own requirements, and this evolution maintained it as usable through decades of evolving warfare. The Cobra was not designed to transport big goods or move troops. Compared to larger, more armored helicopters, it was brittle. Because of its light frame, crews had to rely more on assistance, speed, and strategy than on armor to survive. They received an agile gun platform in exchange, which allowed them to operate at low levels and deliver concentrated fire to strategic locations on the battlefield. Beyond its effectiveness in combat, the AH-1 altered military doctrine. Further developments, including heavier attack types with additional armor and larger armaments, resulted from the concept of a specially designed attack helicopter. Nevertheless, the Cobra's simplicity proved to be extremely beneficial. Compared to heavier gunships, it was lighter and less expensive, and it could be produced in huge quantities to satisfy pressing demands. Osprey Belv 22, the BLV-22. Osprey is a machine that defies easy classification. It is neither an airplane nor a helicopter. Its genius lies in the fact that it is both. The Osprey's enormous rotors give it a distinctive appearance. Each wing's tip. Here's the magic, though. The entire engine is capable of rotating. They have the ability to tilt forward, swivel straight up, or stop at any point in between. The tilt-rotor concept is revolutionary. The Osprey behaves exactly like a helicopter when its engines are aimed straight up. It has the ability to take off vertically, hover motionless, and land in a backyard-sized clearing. It doesn't require a runway to deliver troops or supplies. However, the rotors tilt forward once it is in the air and has to move quickly. They develop into enormous propellers that propel the Osprey through the air like a potent turboprop. The Osprey has an amazing edge thanks to its change. Speed. Plodding along at a few hundred miles per hour, a typical helicopter is comparatively slow. The Osprey has a top speed of around 350 mph. That is almost twice as quick. As a result, it can respond to emergencies, save lives, or transport troops over great distances in almost half the time. The creation of the Osprey was difficult and time-consuming. Serious obstacles to development included deadly crashes that occurred during testing in the 1990s. With improved safety measures and design enhancements, the program continued. The Osprey has now completed hundreds of thousands of flight hours in a variety of services. That persistence paid off, resulting in an airplane that can now perform a function that no other can. The Osprey is very adaptable because of this special aptitude. For Marine Corps soldiers, it is a long-range taxi that can transport them from a ship far out at sea to a hot location deep in the interior. It is the ideal insertion vehicle for special operations troops because it combines the quick escape speed of a plane with the covert, precise landing of a helicopter. It even conducts humanitarian missions, delivering aid to disaster areas with damaged or non-existent runways. By combining the tactical accuracy of a helicopter with the strategic reach of an airplane, it fills a crucial gap. The Marines have their own lethal hunter, the Bell AH-1Z Viper, while the Army has its Apache. Helicopters that can manage ship deck operations in choppy waters are essential for Marines operating from ships in salt spray settings. The Apache isn't optimized for naval operations, which is why the Viper was created. This helicopter serves as more than just a conflict. It is a declaration of intent. It indicates that the Marines require a weapon that can operate from ship decks and soar over wide waters. It must be sharp, quick, and ruthlessly efficient. The Viper is the evolution of a legend, transforming the iconic AH-1 Cobra into a predator fit for the 21st century. There is an obvious family resemblance to the Cobra. Its body is narrow and streamlined, making it a small target for enemy gunners. However, the Viper represents a significant advancement. Its four-bladed rotor system, a far cry from the Cobra's two blades, is the most noticeable improvement. Compared to earlier two-blade designs, the four-blade rotor is superior at handling turbulent air coming from ship decks, essential for secure deck landings. This results in more lift, stability, and a noticeably smoother ride for the Viper. It is essential for arduous, lengthy flights over water. However, its senses and weapons are the real deal. 6 hardpoints, which resemble strongly reinforced shelves for carrying death, are located beneath its wings. These can be equipped with a variety of weapons, such as air-to-air missiles to threaten enemy aircraft, Hydra rocket pods for hostile positions, and potent Hellfire missiles for tanks. Because of its adaptability, the Viper can deal with any threat that may arise on the battlefield. Its duties include dominating the surrounding area, clearing the way for other aircraft, and providing accurate air support for the Marines on the ground. The Viper employs helmet-mounted targeting, just like the Apache, but it also incorporates technologies designed for maritime operations. The Viper is designed for the Marine Corps' special battle from the sea. It functions from amphibious assault ships resemble tiny, mobile airports. The Viper can project power inland from these floating platforms, defending soldiers during a beach landing or flying ahead to explore the area. It is a wolf who patrols the skies above Marine forces, serving as their guardian angel. It is ideal for the huge expanses of ocean and shoreline where the Marines operate because of its long range and sophisticated systems. Thus, the AH-1Z Viper is not merely an attack helicopter. It represents evolution. It takes a tried-and-true, iconic design and gives it a razor-sharp edge. It symbolizes the Marine Corps' capacity to deliver massive, concentrated firepower to any shore, anywhere in the world. It is the fleet's sharpened fang, poised to strike with flawless accuracy and lethal speed. Raider X from Lockheed Martin. The Army's next-generation scout helicopter was intended to be the Sikorsky Lockheed Raider X, flying at more than 220 knots, which is almost twice the speed of a traditional helicopter. In flying tests, it effectively displayed this potential. The Army then terminated the program altogether in February 2024. This machine was a design revolution rather than merely an improvement. It didn't look like anything else in the sky. Forget about a tail rotor and a main rotor. A coaxial rotor system was employed by the Raider X. This indicates that its two primary rotors were positioned one on top of the other and rotated in opposing directions. Its superpower is its clever design. Because of its exceptional agility, the helicopter can dart and evade at a speed that would not be feasible for a conventional helicopter. It can also land in cramped, crowded areas where a traditional helicopter would never fit because of its significantly smaller footprint. And there's the speed. Consider a helicopter traveling at more than 220 knots. That is almost twice as fast as the maximum speed of a Black Hawk or other traditional chopper. This lightning-fast speed wasn't just for show. It was necessary for survival. The plan was to fly in, finish the objective, and then escape before the enemy could even respond by using speed as a shield. Additionally, it was designed to function in scorching high temperatures. Other aircraft found it difficult to operate in the scorching heat of deserts and the thin air of high mountains. All of this was a component of the Future Attack Reconnaissance Aircraft (FAR) program of the United States Army. The objective was to develop a new scout and assault helicopter, a skilled hunter capable of locating the adversary and delivering a lethal blow. For this battle, the Raider X was equipped with a potent 20mm cannon and Hellfire missiles. The aircraft's performance had nothing to do with the cancellation. Raider X performed as intended. Rather, the Army decided to invest elsewhere after re-evaluating whether scout helicopters will be necessary for future conflict. However, future designs will probably use the coaxial rotor technology and high-speed capabilities demonstrated by Raider X. It was a proof of concept that stretched the limits of what was conceivable and served as a flying laboratory. These concepts, the stiff coaxial rotor system, the amazing speed, and the small and nimble airframe, remain viable. They are the seeds of the aircraft of the future. Although the Raider X may never be used as intended, its legacy is safe. It was a daring glimpse at a possible future for aviation and a potent reminder of American inventiveness. It demonstrated that the spirit of innovation is still very much alive and strong, continuously envisioning, creating, and testing the devices that could eventually define the battlefield.